الله نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. Inshallah, in this lesson we will continue with our Arabic grammar sessions, and we are currently in the discussion of tawabi'. These are words which follow the state and case of their principle, or the words that they are following. So we have discussed ta'keed, which is emphasis. We said it can be just done by repeating the word, or it can also be done by using specific words which refer to the previous word in meaning. He also said that there was atf bil huruf. This was connecting on conjunction particles which are used to join two words together. Both those words will be in the same case because of the same word governance. In this session, we will start by discussing another tabi', which is called badal. So badal is basically a word which is attributed with whatever the word its matbu', or the word it's following, is attributed with. However, in this instance, the tabi' itself is the main focus and the intended part of the sentence, not the matbu'. This will become more clear when we go through the types and examples. There are 4 types of badal. The first one is badalul kull min al kull, so the whole for the whole. So this means that we are using a word which refers to the entire matbu' in meaning. So when the indication or the meaning indicated by the badal completely reflects the matbu', so everything that the word, the tabi' means, it also has the same. It's also found within the matbu'. For example, ja'ani Khalidun akhuka. So Khalid came to me, your brother. So akhuka, your brother, and Khalid, they represent the same thing in their entirety. There's nothing about akhuka and Khalidun which have any difference or any shortcoming in. So akhuka doesn't mean half of your brother. Akhuka doesn't mean something which belongs to your brother. Akhuka represents the entirety of your brother. This is badalul kull min al kull. And then we have badalul ba'd with a dad min al kull. So it's just parts of the whole. So this is when the tabi' simply indicates a part of the matbu'. So it doesn't refer to the entirety of the thing that comes before it, rather a part of it. So this is, for example, qara'tul kitab awwalahu. So I recited the book, the beginning portion of it. So awwalahu, that means that it's a part of the book. So it's not referring to the entire book. So I didn't recite the entire book, but I only recited the beginning part. So in this example, kitab is a maf'ul bihi, because qara'a is a verb, and the fa'il, the subject, is tu, represented by the tu pronoun, which means I. So I recited, qara'a means to recite, I recited a book, kitaban awwalahu. And awwalahu is also mansub because it's following kitab in its case, which is the maf'ul bihi, and as we've discussed, maf'ul bihis are mansub. And this word is mufrad munsarif sahih. If you remember that singular, it changes, and it doesn't end with harf illat, waw or ya or alif. The next type of badal is badal al-ishtimal. So it's the badal of inclusion. So you're using something in exchange for the primary word which is included, which it's not essentially a part, but it's something which belongs to the badal. So the mubaddal rather. So the word badal is the word that what we're focusing on now, is the tabi', and the word that follows is known as mubaddal min. So when the tabi' indicates towards something related or connected to a matbu', then this is badalul ishtimal. So for example, a'jabani zaydun ilmuhu. So that's supposed to be ilmuhu, ayn lam mim ha. So Zayd's knowledge amazed me. So you could say Zayd amazed me his knowledge, or simply Zayd's knowledge amazed me. So Zayd's knowledge is something which is connected to him. You could say attributed to him. So there is a slight difference between a part and an attribute. A part is something usually which composes a person. An attribute is more a descriptive thing. Another badal ishtimal also includes belongings, such as I could say akhadtu Zaydan, I held Zayd qalansuwatahu, his hat. So I held Zayd's hat. And then you have the final badal was badalul ghalat, which is when you exchange the word because you made an error. So this is simply you mention a word after you make an error and it will be in the same case as the previous word. For example, رأيت بعلا, I saw a mule, حمارا, a donkey. So it's just correcting yourself. I actually saw a donkey. You don't have to say translate it as I actually saw a donkey. So you might make that mistake in English. I saw Amr Zaid. But in English, we normally say no Zaid. You can do this in Arabic as well, but this is permissible as well. But you have to keep in mind that the word which you are using to correct your mistake must be in the same case as your initial mistake, and that's because it would be a maf'ul bihi in this scenario. There's some notes about badal is when badal is nakira and it is the badal of a ma'rifa word, then you have to add a na'at, a description with it, or an adjective. For example, in Surah Alaq, we say nasiyah, nasiyatun kadhibatun khati'ah. So, kalla la'in lam yantah lanasfa'an bin nasiyah. So, nasiyah is referring to the forehead. Nasiyatin kadhibatin khati'ah. So, we see bin nasiyah is the mubaddal minhu, so it's the matbu and it's ma'rifa. And nasiyatin is the badal, which is nakira. So you have to add an adjective, a na'at with it. Kadhibatin is the first adjective, and then you have khati'a, which is also an adjective. And when the badal is ma'rifa and the mubaddal minhu is nakira, then you don't have to qualify the badal with anything. So this is the vice versa. So if it's so we first said if the badal, which is the word that comes after the tabi', if that's nakira, then it needs an adjective when the mubaddal minhu is ma'rifa. But if the mubaddal minhu is nakira and the badal is ma'rifa, you don't need to add an adjective to the tabi' or matbu'. If both are homogeneous, both are same in terms of being definite or indefinite, so both are ma'rifa or both are nakira, then you don't need to bring an adjective with either of them as well. So in the bottom we have example, siratim mustaqim. So siratin is the mubaddal minhu, and sirat mustaqimin. Siratin mustaqim is the mubaddal minhu, and siratil la is the badal. It doesn't, but you don't need to bring an adjective here in siratillah. Sorry, for siratil mustaqim. Siratillah is ma'rifa because it's mudaf to Allah, which is also ma'rifa. Then we have atful bayan, which is the explicative apposition. Very simply, it's a tabi' word. It's not a sifa, but what it does is it clarifies its matbu'. It's usually in the form of a more famous and recognizable name of the matbu'. For example, أخبرنا أمير المؤمنين. So the Amir al-Mu'mineen, the leader of the believers, informed me Ali. So Aliyun is the name of the Amir al-Mu'mineen. So that's the atful bayan. It's very similar to badalul kul, but it's different because it's usually a name that is referring to the mubaddal min. And that is the end of tawabi, and it's a very short lesson, but it's the third or second part of the tawabi, and we'll leave it at that for today, inshallah. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.